My name is Kara Black, and I'm speaking today on how to appropriately prepare for an interview and go through the process of an interview when you're looking for a new job, especially out of college. I want to give you advice, being a call center manager and a hiring manager, on kind of the do's and not do's throughout the course of an interview process. Not preparing properly for an interview is the fastest way not to even be considered, even if you have the proper job description or the qualifications. Many people new to the workforce make common mistakes in the interview process that immediately dismisses them within the first few minutes of an interview. By doing some prep work before an interview, you will impress your desire to work for that organization, as well as the skills to the interviewer on what you're going to be like as a future employee. The biggest thing when you're going into an interview, before you even apply to a company, do some research on your company. Very in depth, going in and looking at the main page of their website is not enough. What you need to do is look at the company history, see when they were established, what products do the company sell, and not just the bare minimum. You want to look at their different product lines so you can speak to that in a phone screen or a face-to-face interview. How large is the organization? You want to get a grasp of, is this an organization that only has 5 employees, or is this an organization that has 3,000 employees and that it's international? You want to know, if it is an international organization, you want to know how big they are. How many countries do they have presence in? How many states do they have presence in if it's a national corporation? Names of the company executives, also a big thing you want to do before you have a phone screen. You want to know who their CEO is. You want to know who their controller is. You want to know a little bit of background about those executives. Where do they come from? Now, the next step, once you've kind of gotten your hands around the organization as a whole, do a little research on your interviewer. If you've already scheduled a phone screen or a face-to-face interview, go on LinkedIn. It's a great avenue to learn more about who's going to be interviewing you. If you're going to talk to the VP of sales, what's his history? That'll be a great way to break the ice. Ask him how this position compares to the previous positions he's held. Now, one thing you want to do is reasons why you want to work for the company. I can tell you with personal experience, that's one of the main questions I ask on a phone screen. Why do you want to work for this organization? A lot of the responses that I've gotten has been, oh, well, I just thought I could do the job. That's not a good answer. What you want to do is list, oh, well, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, and this fits into the job description. Phone screen and interview. It's very important to remember a phone screen is an interview. Don't go walking through the line at checkout while you're on the phone screen with a interviewer. I've had that happen. So that is an immediate dismissal. If you're multitasking, you always want to make sure that you have a quiet room. If you have kids, have someone watch your kids while you're doing the phone interview. Now, according to CareerBuilder's top 10 blunders, someone has actually flushed a toilet on a phone screen, so probably not a good idea to be doing that kind of task while you're on a phone screen. Very important. This is an interview. You conduct yourself just like you were in a face-to-face interview. When you go to a face-to-face interview, always come at least 15 minutes before. If you don't know the area, allow more time. You don't want to walk into an interview late because you got lost. You also want to make sure that you're allowing enough time to fill out an application. If there's a lengthy application, you want to shoot to make sure to start your interview at the interview start time. Not get there 5 minutes before, fill out an application for 20 minutes, and then start your interview time. It's really important to know what to expect. Be prepared to ask, a lot of the common questions asked in interviews. According to Money.us News, some of the most frequently asked questions in interviews are, what do you know about the company? Discussed that previous. That is going to come up. Bring your notepad. No one's going to ding you for looking at your notes about the company in an interview. Tell me about your strengths. Why did you leave your last job? Very important point. Never, ever badmouth a previous employer. No matter how bad they were, be very PC about it. There wasn't a lot of growth, things like that. You don't want to badmouth a previous employer. And what questions do you have for me? Now that, you always want to come prepared with 3 to 5 questions for your interviewer. You want to make sure that you're engaged. You're not just coming for a job, you want a career. You want to show that you have tenacity, that you want to make sure that this fit is for you, and you're not just taking the first job that's going to fall into your lap. Resume and application. Do not put photos on your resume. I know this sounds like a very simple thing not to do, but this really opens you up for discrimination. And if you're going for a job, office job, this is not professional. If you're filling out an application, never put "see resume" in your job history. There's a lot of organization that has HR regulations centered around that, so you want to err on the side of caution and make sure that you're filling that out completely. And always make sure you bring 3 copies of your resume. You never know, you may speak with one person and they like you so much they want you to talk to their boss. So bring lots of copies of your resume and your references. Dress code. No matter what the dress code of the organization, business professional. You want to be always err on the side of too dressed rather than not dressed enough. Follow-up, finally. When you go to an interview, always ask for the business cards of everybody you talk to. You want to send an email either right after you leave or the day after, thanking them for your time and consideration. And then finally, if you've asked for a timeline, when that timeline passes and you haven't heard from somebody, give them a call, shoot them an email, letting them know you're still very interested in the position and you're available for any questions. And by planning ahead, doing some research on the organization, you can show to your potential employee or employer that you are a detail-oriented self-starter. Thank you.